Hello, 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 islanders and global viewers. Welcome back to my channel, those of you who have been watching, and those of you who are joining for the first time, thank you for joining. And at the end of the video, do remember to hit that like, share, and the subscribe button, and also the notification button, so that you can know when we have other recipes out for you. Alright, today we'll be making vegetable and tuna casserole. And here on the counter we have all the ingredients that we'll be using. We will be using garden egg, cucumber, an onion, red sweet pepper or bell pepper as they call it, some shredded carrot there, cheese, and some breadcrumbs, which will be used as a binding agent to bring a little body to the casserole. And here we have some seasoning, a little powder that I've put together, mix that I've put together. It's paprika with oregano and the garlic and the black pepper that we'll be using to sprinkle over the veggies and the cheese as well. Then you see my sauce right there. I want to add a little sauce to it, and the tuna you can see in the can. So stay with me. And while these veggies will be in the oven, because we're going to do it in the oven, we will be preparing some tostones. In Jamaica we call it pressed plantain, pressed green fried plantain to be exact. And in the Latin American world or other Spanish speaking world, tostones. Stay with me. Okay, all my veggies are prepped and ready to receive these breadcrumbs and the seasoning, the powdered seasoning. So I'm gonna combine these two now. Combine them. I think I mentioned before, it's just about 1 teaspoon of paprika, 1 teaspoon of oregano with some garlic and black pepper. And that's it. And a little pinch of salt. I don't know how many of you know. Some of you will know, but some of you don't quite know. Jamaicans tend to just use judgment when they're cooking. They just estimate, because we grew up watching our grandparents cooking and our mothers cooking, and we just follow that sequence. We hardly say 1 teaspoon, 1.5 teaspoon, you know, but it works for some people, but Jamaicans like to do a little freestyle. So here I'm gonna just sprinkle this right over the veggies. Get it all set to go into the oven. We're going to put it in the oven at 400 degrees. This will just fall right through and become the binding agent inside. Just hold it together a little bit. We'll be using some cheese also, vegetarian cheese I'm using. Begin to think that this is enough now. My hands are quite clean. I washed them quite a few times. Because I'm just gonna dust this down in here so I can still have some of the colors exposed. Yes. Okay. All right, maybe a little later we can add the rest. We can stop here. And I'm going to be just putting this into the oven now for 45 minutes, 40 to 45 minutes, while giving a close eye on it. And while that is being done, I'm going to peel my green plantains and start preparing my tostones, or pressed green fried plantain, as we say in Jamaica. Right, just before we put it in the oven, I'm going to add a few little drizzles of oil. You can choose the oil you want to use. You can use olive oil if you have it. Vegetable oil will be just as good. We just want to add just a few drizzle of oil around it. Alright, into the oven now for the 45 minutes at 400 degrees. Okay, while our casserole is in the oven, I'm gonna go ahead and just slice up these green plantains that I have here and get them ready to be fried. These are what we'll be using for our tostones, okay? Just 2 of them, I think that's enough. I'm going to do it in a cylindrical form. Should try and keep it straight because I remember I have to crush it in the tostanera, and we don't want them to be too slant there that they can't catch a shape. Then when I'm finished with cutting them, I'm going to add them to some salt water that I have in the bowl that you notice right over here, because I personally do not like adding the salt, sprinkling the salt over anything. So I prefer to just put them in the salt water. I added already about 1.5 tablespoons of salt to that water. I'm going to put them in. Put them all in it now, and leave it for a little 2 minutes or so, that they get the salt into it. 2 to 3 minutes, so that's enough, I think. Just want to get the salt water around them, and then there they are. So okay, we've gone ahead and preheated this oil in the pot here, and we're gonna just lower these plantains in it. We strained off all the water, left it quite dry because you don't want to be dropping these in the pot and the oil, you know, starts splashing all over. So we just drain them properly of the water, and then I'm going to use this to protect my hand. And so I'm going to be lowering them in now. The oil is quite hot now. Okay, so I'm using my hand to get some more of these into the basket. Put it in the pot. My hands are quite clean. Just lower them nice like that. Notice you don't hear a big frying starting because the oil is not getting the water from the plantain. We drained that off. Notice we used a good amount of oil because I don't want to be there turning and turning a few little pieces of plantain. So it's good to just have them all in one in the pot, so that when God said finish frying, everything is basically finished. Yes, because at this time we're going to let this fry a little bit. When they are almost done, like halfway done, once you see them all getting very yellow and looking a little bit crisp on the outside, we're going to just start removing them and crushing them, and then putting them back into the oil for the final frying. Alright, I believe these are just about ready for leaving the pot. Give them a little squeeze, yes, I feel a little crisp. Yes, they're feeling a little bit crisp now. I think they're ready for leaving this pot. And then, oopsie. Yeah, they're ready to leave the pot and be crushed and replaced. Alright, we're going to place them right here on this napkin. Let it cool off for a little, maybe 2 or 3 minutes. Cool them off a little before we start trying to press them. Oh, the color, it's so beautiful. Nice golden yellow, kind of sunshine yellow. Good, good, good. I'm going to turn off the stove at this point because, as I mentioned, they're going to be cooling down for a little bit before we press them. Just about 3 minutes or so. They are so golden and lovely. Yes. Okay, here we are now. We're going to be adding the rest of topping onto this, or dressing, or just the plain rest of ingredients. We have here the tuna, chunky tuna, and we're going to be just using the opportunity to add to it now a tablespoon of lime juice, because you know, wherever there's something fishy going on, it's good to have a little lime or lemon. So we're gonna just pour that right onto it like this. Drizzle it nicely over this tuna and bring it together a bit. Put this in here so that when we put it in here, it can have a nice little consistent flavor of the lemon juice going right through it. All right, here we go. We are going in now, putting this all over. See the crust? That's so nice and crusty. Forming a little bit of crust, just showing you some different textures coming through. Yes. That's it now. Then we're going to be adding our sauce. I have a little salsa that I'm going to add to it to get some extra moisture in. All right, that's it. That's it for the tuna. Coming in with the sauce now. Drizzle all over here. Just kind of get it in everywhere. How do I look, YouTubers, Islanders, and global viewers? How do I look? How is it looking to you over there on your side? Do you think you'd be willing to try this recipe at home? Let me know how it works out for you. Very good. Just kind of use this to spread it over a little more evenly. Spread over that sauce just a little more evenly. I'm in fact thinking that I could add a little bit more sauce to this, just a little bit more. Yeah or nay, yeah or nay, yeah or nay. Should we go with a little more sauce or leave it as is, because we're going to be adding some cheese. I think we do need a little more sauce, especially in the corners. You know, the corners of your tray or whatever it is that you're using to bake something in the oven tend to be drier because the heat hits that part of it first. So just go ahead and add in a little more to the corners. Get it nice and moist. Okay, what time is it now? What time is it? What you're putting in now? It's time for the cheese. We have it grated here. I just washed my hands again. We have it grated already. So I'm gonna just sprinkle it generously over this casserole here. Sometimes the tongue doesn't spread it quite evenly, so you have to use your hands, which is why you have to make sure that your hands are always clean. Yes, practicing. All right, there we go. Look at that. Yes, indeed. We're almost all covered now and all out. Wow. You're following the journey? We keep changing textures and faces. Each time we add a different set of, let us say, toppings. we get a different look. Now that's where we are. There is just one last thing that I want to add now. I'm going to add some ripened tomatoes. I kind of shake them out nicely, like a heart shape. Yes. All right. Wow. There are 4 full slices. And that's the last one right there in terms of the corner. And we have a little something for the center. When I went to school, I learned that this shape is called a star. That's a star. It's not perfect. Don't go ridiculing me for my star now. It's just something to complete the center. All right. So we're going to put this back in the oven for 20 minutes. Or it could be 15. We'll just monitor it and see how it's turning around, how it's melting down nicely. 15 minutes back in the oven at just about 250 degrees this time, not 400. And then in 15-20 minutes we check on it and see what's happening. All right, here we are now ready to do our pressed plantain. What it is about tostones that makes them tostones or distinguishes them from just fried plantain is a signature shape. So when you put this together, hold this one down like that, that will press it right down and that keeps the shape. So that's it. So this here is called a tostonera de madera. That means a tostonera made of wood, or a wooden tostonera. As you might notice, we have retained that word in English. People always just refer to it as a tostonera. So here we go, we're putting the first one in, and we're gonna put it right in the middle. You want to put it right in the middle of this little circle that you have there and come down on it like that. Bam! With a nice hard press. And you open, and there you go. You have that nice rounded signature shape. All right. And just go ahead and remove this one. Put it, rest it right back here until we're ready to put them in. I don't want them frying one by one, so I'm just gonna crush quite a few before I start putting them into the oil again. Right, here we go, going in again in the center. This is why we had cut it in a circular shape instead of in a long shape. That's it. Bam, 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 bam. Bam. And that's it. And another one, bite the dust. Another one bites the dust, yes. Here we go. One more. Go ahead. And it's really quick. You just press it down and that's it. Up again. Over and off. Next patient coming. And the same treatment for the next patient. In Jamaica, we have that same. Next patient, same treatment. That means moving right along in the very same way. Yes. That's it. Still within the circle because you want to be keeping that shape. Okay, so it's time to return these tostones to the pot because they're all crushed and ready. This time I'm not using the basket because I don't want to be crushing them, changing the shape. I want them to maintain the shape, so I don't want to just scoop them up because they're not so hard enough. The shape, the original tostones shape, I tell you, that signature shape, that's it, with the flat and then have that crust around the edges. All back in. So the sizzling for another 2 to 3 minutes and then they will be all ready. And you want to fry these until they're a bit crispy. Not very hard, but crispy, just crispy. All right, these are all done now. We're going to just remove them from that pot. Stop that cooking process. Don't want them to be getting over or overly hard. So I'm going to put some napkin in this plate. Yes, and put them right back over here in this bowl to just drain off the oil. Now they are harder because they are more on the crispy side. I can handle them a little better now. If ever you needed proof that these are ready, you can just do that. Listen to that. You heard that? That is proof that they are fully ready. Alright, while we were busy doing other things around here, our vegetable tuna casserole is ready. Look at it. Are you loving what you're seeing? Tostones ready also. I'm gonna dig into this now, and I'm sure I'm gonna enjoy this. Alright, our final dish is ready. Vegetable and tuna casserole with tostones. We're gonna just plate some of that and enjoy it. Alright, let's see. We can get this out as smoothly as possible and onto the plate. There we go. Alright. Wow. Isn't that beautiful? Nice. Fabulous. Look how lovely that looks. Nice and moist. Appetizing. It smells good too. I can tell you that. It smells really good. Go ahead and put some of this tostones around the plate here. Great. And you want to just add a little side to this one. Just add a little side, add a little dip for the tostones. And voila! There you go. If you enjoyed this recipe, let us know. Give us a thumbs up. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification button. Until next time, adios amigos. Ciao.